I also wanted to move on to a couple of good news stories. The first concerns Unibet, who have now decided to pay into the fund. I find it quite extraordinary that a prestige organisation like RPG TV that turns over such a lot of money for the betting industry has this as a main sponsor. And let's face it, until the likes of your Mark, he's not the only one certainly, but Mark Pierpont raising this as an issue, that these guys weren't paying into the fund, it seems absolutely absurd that this has continued.
On a personal note myself, I don't think I'd have accepted somebody sponsoring my company or brand, which RPTV is, if they weren't doing the right thing by the sport, what they were dealing with. That's just my personal view. I wouldn't, even though you need the income, sometimes, right's right and wrong's wrong, and they should have been paying into the fund. Thankfully, they are doing now, so, it's good. Whether Mark's intervention has helped, I don't think it's done any harm. I don't think we should have to get down to resort to having a go at these people all the time. I think they should do the right things. But obviously they've got shareholders, they have to, pay dividends out to, etc. But you make profits in the right way. You don't make profits in the
very much. It's no coincidence, though, is it? I mean, we had the campaign about Betfair, and they'd gone 10 years since they decided not to pay anymore, and we had the Betfair Don't Care campaign, which caused a lot of upset. Well, we understand. I got some feedback. People were very, very irritated, and I'm using irritated as a polite version of what they were with us. But in the following, 6 or 8 weeks, Betfair then decided to pay back into the fund again. So, I know
we had Sky Bet. I mean, I know Mark actually met with the chairman at that point in time, or was the CEO, I think it was, of Sky Bet, to discuss paying in. So, that's Mark Pierpont actually met with the Sky Bet chap and got him to the GB. These companies do not want to be seen that, the bullying or having a go at them actually reaps rewards. And we have to be careful that we don't say that it does, but it doesn't do any harm. And it's all about doing the right thing. So, if you have to cajole these people and, help them along the way in whatever way you can to get them to pay, I still don't think it's enough what they're paying. And I think there is opportunities and ways to get them to pay more, but I don't think 100% within the organisations, there's always that means that they want them to pay that much more, because I think some of these organisations are already getting plenty of money out of these bookmakers in other ways.
Yes.
It's just not actually coming to the right people, I don't think. So, don't ever fool yourself that bookmakers aren't paying lots of money towards this sport. They are doing, in my view.
Very, very much so. And I've often made that point. Again, something that tends to get ignored when people want to have a bit of a pop at me. But yeah, the bookmakers, without the tens of millions that they put into the industry, we wouldn't exist as an industry. And the other point I would make, though, is that people like Mark and people like myself, we're sometimes labelled as sort of troublemakers, and we don't toe the line, and we don't sit on the gravy train. Well, that's just tough, but sometimes it does need people that are prepared to be unpopular and prepared to get some abuse, which we get. You just have to do these things if you want to make some progress.
You need all different types of people in the world, Floyd. You need the givers, and I'm afraid you have a lot of takers. And we are a sport with a lot of takers. And it's just a shame we've probably got more takers than givers. But I'm probably actually telling a lie there, because when you think of all the trainers, the owners, kennellands, there's a lot of givers.
There are, very much so. Excuse me, I don't know if you can see this here. Someone's not happy. Right. Of course, following on from that, we should also mention the Chris Michael lapel badges for the retired not rescued, which we highlighted was only yesterday, and I gather that he's already had orders for at least 200. So, at least he's ordered another 100 anyway, which I think is fantastic.
this is it's been a big thing, and I don't think people realised the word rescued, how much it insulted the genuine greyhound person and the greyhound supporter, and it's something what we've all had to put up with over years and years. If I take my dogs, last time probably a while back was Chatsworth Show, and I'd go and walking around with about 3 or 4 of the dogs. I said, "Oh, the rescues?" No. So my next door neighbour, a lot of my neighbours have got greyhounds, and they'll say, "No, they're not. They're actually it's my neighbours. One of their retireds." And my name's Mud out there because some of the aunties gave out a load of rubbish years ago, and so they'll say, who's what dogs then? And they say Sally, because and if they are one of that way inclined, they've read about the Salicas or something like that, and it's complete utter lies what we've got to shift and try and stop, and we can't have people within our own community.
No, I think that's the point. That's very much the point. If we're doing it to ourselves,
that's what's really upset people. We have enough of it from outsiders, and when we have it from our own, from within, it's just like we can't accept it as a sport. We can't accept it. We're not going to accept it. And Chris has brought these lovely badges out, and it just shows how much support there is. That the people crying out for these badges, and he's having to order more, and they will have to keep ordering them because people want them, and people are passionate. You'll have the Irish coming up with these as well. I'll tell you now, they'll be on it, and everyone will be wearing these. Retired.
I want to be challenged on it. I want people to say, "Well, what's that about then?" And then you get the chance, because so often, again, I'm out. We've got. I think you've seen a minute ago. We've got one in the office here. We've got Rushy, and again, it's issue rescued, and they don't understand, and it's not said in any maliciousness, but they don't understand. But it's important to us. It's very important to us, and I really hope that everybody goes and gets stuck into this. I think it is an important principle. Yes, it's going to raise money for various charities, but I think in terms of just getting the message out there for thousands and thousands of people to see, and gradually turning the tide a little bit away from people thinking, "Oh, well, they haven't put to sleep, don't they?" Anything like this can only help. And I just took to the idea straight away. I think it's a fantastic idea.
I think it's a British thing. We are this way inclined. I saw a piece what Matt Chapman put up on Twitter, and he was just talking about somebody, and he was saying how we like to knock people down or pull people down, and it's a British way. We don't want to look at positives. We want to look at negatives, etc. And the positives are we are retiring these dogs. They're not rescued. If there is a rescue, we need to find out what the reason is why it's been. I'm not saying there's not a rescue out there. Of course, there's a rescue out there. In all walks of life, you have people or animals, etc., what need rescuing. There's probably more people in society what need rescuing than what there is dogs. So there's always going to be a rescue in society, and we're in a position where we should find out why, do something about it, and make sure we don't get another rescue in that situation. But the whole majority of greyhounds within this sport are retired, not rescued.